Hey there, starlights. I'm here to show you what I have been up to. It's been a pretty busy 2 weeks at work, and I haven't had a lot of time to stream or play games or do anything, but I have been learning Blender in the small time that I have, and I would like to show you guys what I was able to do. I took yesterday off and spent about like I think it was like 8 or 9 hours in Blender. So yeah, I'll just show you what we did. So I know everyone starts. This is Obsidian, by the way. It's a note taker. I don't have it like special or anything because I just wanted to make a vault for Blender. I'll probably make it look cute later, but I just wanted to kind of get down to it. I know people mostly start with that like how to make a donut video, but in my experience, I kind of need more of like how to use the program instead of like we're gonna make this kind of tutorial, if that makes sense. So I found this awesome YouTuber streamer named Faulty Friday. Let me just go to his channel real quick. He has he streams on Twitch and does a bunch of games and all these things, but he did a series that caught my attention for how to make low poly models in Blender. And then he has a Blender's Basic video that was uploaded pretty recently, and I wanted to learn from that because I thought that a lot of the very popular Blender tutorials are pretty old. And this one was, I mean, it's 2 hours, like it's pretty extensive, right? So I watched that. It was very good. Highly recommend. And I took some notes. So I'll just go through my notes and then we'll look at we'll kind of jump back and forth between here and Blender when I show you guys around, and then I'll show you the final result at the end of the video. So first of all, we have layout mode. Oh, sorry, I am tired. I just have this here for like simple shortcuts, object mode, edit mode, stuff like that, just to kind of remind myself and have on my monitor while I'm working, or if I forget something and whatever, it's just here. I I have a bad memory, so I just need this. But he went over pretty much everything. As you can see here, there's a lot of questionable notes. Went over like properties, went over the render stuff. I did not write down everything as I was learning because the creativity kind of just like took me, kind of like shading world, like how to add, or shading mode, like how to add shaders and stuff like that, and then simple layout mode, what we already looked at, view mode, there we go. And yeah, and I have a bunch of videos that I watched to kind of help me with stuff after I had watched the Blender Basics video, but let's just head into Blender. So this is my scene that I made alongside the help of our friend over there, and as you can see, it's pretty basic. I really liked his stance of your first 3D model art will probably be as bad as like your first like drawing as a kid. So he was like, we're gonna make like a like a house and some trees, right? For your first thing, because like that's kind of what you do when you're a kid. So we started off with a cube. and I built this house. This was not his like style of house. He did like a barn type house kind of deal while he was like talking about the like how to use things and stuff. I just kept building. And the thing that I realized while doing it, which isn't a surprise, but it just was like kind of nice, I guess, for me, was that building in Blender feels a lot like building in The Sims or in Paralives or in like other kind of like even like Disney Dreamlight Valley gave me kind of like the similar vibes of like how you move things along the grid and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty intuitive for me to build because I build it quite a bit in those kinds of games. So it was very fun to do. I wanted to do like I also kind of felt like Minecraft in a way. I don't know. These little like areas right here. I was going to make like a planter, or like some kind of like like I don't like a garden pot or something. But I spent so long in here. And it was like 11:30 at night, and I had work the next morning, and I was like, I have to go to bed. This is too much. But this was all made from one square, and I just kind of like did everything. The only thing that isn't made from the square is my lantern over here that I made on my own. That is made from a separate square that I just kind of merged into there. And if you're wondering what this ring is, this is the light point for the little candle that I have inside of there, which we'll kind of see a little bit later when I go into the other modes. And I made this window as well. And for that window, I went to let's see, which one was it? I think it was one of these. Keyframe, no. Fireflies, no. Oh, I think I might have forgotten to add it. Let's see if I have it open here. No. It was like a how to make glass tutorial, which wasn't like I think it was like at the very least AI dubbed over. So maybe that's why I didn't keep it. But it kind of helped a little bit, not super much. We'll kind of get into all of that a bit later. But anyway, so I made this house, and then we went over these trees and kind of how to make them look the way that they are. And I did end up merging most of the items, but this tree was like 3 items, one for the trunk, one for the branch, and then a cone for the top. And we learned about how let me just like move over here real quick. We learned about how sorry, it's Shift A. Let me add a cone and just move it over here real quick. So we learned how subdivision doesn't work as well on cones, because the cone has only 3 vertices in each area, and we need quad vertices. So as you can see, when we follow one, it's 1, 2, and then 3 at the top. But we want to subdivide because it makes it so we can kind of adjust the topography of the cone itself. So that's where we learned the knife tool, which is just K on the keyboard. I wonder if I can just cut it like this. I don't know, actually. That's actually a good question. I'm still learning. Or I wonder if this will just like cut the specific ones. Oh. I'm having trouble moving because I'm silly. I'm a silly little Billy. I'm a silly little Billy. There we go. I don't know what was happening there. Does that make it everything quads? Let's see. Let me grab this. Oh. Oh, I didn't connect it. Wait, hold on. Knife. This one, enter. Okay. Now, alt click, grab. Oh, GG. There we go. I'm remembering. Okay, it seems like it seems like we can. I forgot I think it's R, Control R. Oh yeah, it is. Wow. Okay. Interesting. The way that he showed us was just to click every individual area, which obviously that makes it a lot smoother than whatever I did. But like now that it's subdivided, you can select a area you want and grab it and kind of like move it a bit. I have smoothing on. Let me turn that off real quick. You can kind of grab it and move it and scale it any way that you want and all of those kinds of things. Yeah, I don't know. Lots of stuff going on. Let's just delete this and go back to the scene. There we go. Okay. I think holding shift and then like trying to zoom in is like making my zoom weird. But it's okay. I'm just gonna chill. We're just gonna chill here. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Pretty cool. I wonder why I can't get in anymore. See, I'm still learning. Having trouble just like viewing, but it's fine. I can't move down. Active object has negative scale. Girl, what you mean? Okay. I don't know what I did, but I think we fixed it, maybe, perhaps, perchance. So yeah, that's how you make a tree. And then after that, he went into the shading aspect. But before we go into shading, I want to show what the hell is up with this grass, because it kind of looks weird. It kind of looks funky. This grass was made from a tutorial on how to do Ghibli grass, is what he said. And it's just kind of like more of a stylized, like painterly grass, which was like, I think 1 minute long, and it took me like 45 minutes to get into, like to really like do it. I'll also show, like, I have firefly, like how to make fireflies in Blender, how to set the camera to your current view, like how to kind of like make it look how you want it to, and then keyframing, which we'll get into in a second. So this grass was made from that tutorial. He was using a older version of Blender. I think he was on like 4.3 or something. I'm on 5.2. So there was a little bit of a difference, mostly just like in the way that the properties kind of acted. So you click on the plane and then you go to your properties tab, and this is where you make the hair. So you set it to hair, you have it like you have like how much it grows. The seed is kind of how random it is. You have the length of it, how many segments there are, and then you have the children, which are like tinier versions of it, right? That kind of makes it look more like voluptuous. And you have it set to simple, and then you can adjust things there if you want. But mostly we care about clumping, because grass kind of grows in little tufts, and that's just a really simple, watered down way to kind of like get the effect. And then it looks better when you put a texture on it. It took me a bit to kind of figure out the balance of everything, mostly because the tutorial was on a smaller plane, and I kind of wanted like rolling hills and stuff in the background. So like my original plane, if I get rid of this one, my original plane had like this kind of topography. So I wanted to kind of like recreate that without messing up the other one. For some reason, like my original plane wasn't working with the hair property, but when I made a new one, it did. So I don't know what that was about, but you know, we got over it. And then the thing that I keep selecting that's invisible is my firefly emitter. So the tutorial didn't really have like audio with it, but if you look down here, there's a little ball. Let me see if I can, select it down there. There's a little ball that I put underneath the scene, which is shaded to look like a glowing ball. And you just make a square, and you have the same kind of like particle settings as like the hair, but instead of hair you have emitter, and you can choose the emission, you can choose like when it starts, when it ends, the lifetime of it, the physics, allowing them to fly but not allowing them to land on the ground, their max acceleration, like all of that good physics stuff. And then follow the leader, which is just one of these, like, I don't know all about Boyd's, and Boyd brain is so Boyd brain is like one of the funniest things I think I've ever heard. And I can't think of like a serious like person saying Boyd brain. I'm kind of in the way, but when you click on this, there's like goal, avoid collision, separate, flock, follow leader, average speed, fight, all those kinds of ways that the particles can kind of like interact. And I had them just follow the house because I want them to follow the house. We have it in air, we don't have any fuzziness. I see the object as the house that they're following. And then I have them in a line of a big queue size because the animation itself, I want it to be 500 frames. Random number, but enough that, you know, I needed them to kind of not just like immediately go towards the house. And then after your Boyds are done, you render it as the object that is the firefly ball. So it was pretty cool. There was another one I tried to watch, but it was too complex. Oh, also the field weights, I don't remember if in the tutorial if it showed turning the gravity down or not, but I think I messed with this because of the force fields I have. I have a wind force field that makes the grass move, but it was also making the fireflies fly away. And I have a turbulence force field. The turbulence force field, I have keyframed in an animation to start from one end and then move to the other end when I play. So let's just hit play, and you can see it moves across. So in the final render, it looks like that there's like wind going across the specific area. And then if I click my camera, I can set active camera and I can watch what it looks like from there, and it's pretty cool. So I think that's like basically it for the layout portion of it, the object modes and the editing and everything, and kind of like making it all a piece. So now I'll show what we did in the shading tab. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff on your screen. I'm not here to teach Blender. I'm here to kind of show what I learned, right? But yeah. So, and I still don't know why it looks different here than it does here. Like, I don't know why it's kind of like the focal lens is kind of weird. Like, I have no idea. I think that just happened on its own, and it's just kind of there. Oh, user orthographic. I know orthographic is a type of way to look at something, so I wonder. I don't even know where to change that. Align view. Nope. Local view? Nope. Yeah, I don't know how I changed that and how to oh, there we go. I fixed it. Okay, we're on perspective now. I wonder, okay, interesting. I don't have a numpad, so I must have hit that at some point a different way. In Blender, there's like 15 different ways to do different things. Anyways, so here we are in the shading tab. Let me just select my house, and then this is the material tab, and we learned about how to make materials and this lovely graph down here of how to do all of this. In the tutorial that I was following, he only had like a normal BSDF layer. Like if I click on a different material, he just had this base color one. This one is for the glass, and it's honestly like even hard to tell it's glass. But let me change to what the color looks like. So we have these toggles up here. We can do material preview, but I'm just going to do rendered. So this is what my render kind of looks like. I mean, we could do material preview so you can see just the colors. We learned how to like link things together to make them the same material. You can see like the glass is like a little reflective. It's a little glass-like with the outside world. I wonder if this can change. I don't know. But you can see like the true colors of everything, I guess. And then back to rendered mode is I wanted a nighttime scene, which is why I have fireflies and a lantern. Don't mind the lighting right here. It looks weird, but I think it turned out fine in the final thing. I tried to find some tutorials on how to make like a nighttime scene, but for whatever reason, the material handling wasn't working with mine. So I basically had it set to world, and then I had like the camera or something selected to world as well. Or yeah, I had like the surface of the world be like a different thing over here. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. Basically, they were trying to make a black background with a sun disc that's like a shader, and then a noise gate over the background to make it look like stars. But because I'm using Eevee, I couldn't do that because it's not allowed in Eevee, which Eevee is a rendering type. I wonder if I think it's in here. Yeah, the render engine is Eevee. And the difference between Eevee, Workbench, and Cycles is that I believe Workbench and Cycles is more for like photorealistic blender, and Eevee's more for stylized blender. So yeah, obviously we're staying stylized. We are staying stylized. So that is kind of like the restraint of that. Now I did end up making a sun that I just like kind of made I kind of tinted it a bit like blue and made the strength super low and changed the angle of it and stuff, which I think gave like a good like soft glowing effect on some of these ridges. And then with the point light, that was just me messing around figuring out what to do with light, because he didn't really go over light too much, but I can't help myself when I have a vision. I just need to do it. So this light, like I try to have it like be a temperature and then set it to realistic kelvins, because I know that's kind of how you have lights, like your lights are different units of kelvins. But it was just making it like red like that, which I guess it's because of the tint, and I could probably change the tint a bit, but it's just a bit too harsh. Kind of like, I mean, like maybe this isn't kelvins, you know, like I do this and it kind of looks more lantern-esque, but I wanted like a fire kind of vibe, and I got that just fine, you know, on its own. So yeah, let me just undo all this. I got that just fine on its own with just like a normal color and kind of messing around with the exposure, because it's kind of a if I made the exposure too high, it would go through the house and like into the window, but I needed it high enough that it would be like the focal point of like something to look at in the scene, right? So yeah, that was all very fun for me. Let me go back to the point. There we go. I don't know if I did anything else. But yeah, so that's how I did the lights. Like I said, the world, you just kind of put a background color and then you can have the strength of it. There were some Firefly tutorials that wanted you to make fog in your scene to make the fireflies kind of like pop out more, but I was able to achieve something good enough for what I needed without all the extra rendering of fog and everything like that, because that was kind of a nightmare. Most of like I remember just spending not too much, but a lot of time on the wind and turbulence physics near the end, which is in the animation tab. It took me a long time to figure out like how to get this to work, but basically you highlight what you want. So I want the turbulence, which is this guy over here, and I have it keyframed to start at a location, and then you just move it to where you want it to go, and then you make another keyframe and it moves over there on its own. And it was very simple to do. The only thing that wasn't as simple was one, learning that I had to do this in the animation tab, which seems silly, but when I'm in the shading tab, I can just open up like the timeline over here. You see, yeah, the timeline. And I thought that you could do it from here. And it shows up that you can, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working to like make it exactly how I wanted it to, which was like starting at a location, and it would keyframe one item, but then it wouldn't like let me move it at all. I don't know. It was very strange. So that was kind of a learning curve, an extra thing that I had to to be okay with. So yeah, I got it figured out in the end. And all was well and dandy. Trying to think if there's anything else with the shading. It was just kind of like putting colors down and then changing it and stuff. Let me open back up the shader editor and open the house. So when you're shading, let me move myself. I wonder if I can flip horizontally really easily. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. For the shader editor over here, you can see I have a bunch of different materials. So essentially, you can make a new material two ways. You can make it by selecting. Let me select something that doesn't have a material. Well, actually, I don't think anything doesn't have a material. Okay, like the turbulence. You would select this button that would normally I don't think you can do on force fields, but you know, you select it and hit new and it kind of like applies itself. But if you want to add extras, you hit this plus over here and it makes a new material slot. And in edit mode, oops, that's sculpt mode. In edit mode, you would like select the faces that you want to be a certain color and then hit the plus sign and then it assigns it all to them. And you can do it vice versa where you can make the material first and then kind of assign it that way. This down here is just a more complicated this graph, which is already complicated. But from what I can tell, it's just a more complicated render graph because you have like you can preview, you know, how your material looks, and then you can change the surface of it, which is this thing, and you can change the volume, which we don't have, and the displacement, all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, see, like this kind of looks like glass, you know, kind of glass-like, shiny. That's kind of fun. But yeah, and you can kind of deal with that here if you want, but I kind of like the nodes and like, you know, right clicking, adding, and then attaching them together. VNyan, which is one of the softwares I use to put myself on screen, has these kinds of nodes. So I'm glad that I'm learning it in Blender because maybe it'll make more sense in VNyan because I haven't made sense of it too much yet. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it with the shading. So let me turn myself back around. Whoop, whoop. Beautiful. Let's go to our rendering. So when we render, I've actually just been like in either the layout tab or the shading tab, and then I just hit render. But you can also edit the properties over here anyways. Oh, I guess I should have here. Maybe I'll just pop this out. Maybe I'll just change it to here. There we go. Now you can see everything. So in the render tab, this is kind of how you set everything. So you have the engine that you're doing, all that kind of stuff. And then in the output, this is how you kind of like tell it what parameters it's rendering at. So I followed a video I'll show for from this YouTuber right here, finds Kyleson Batista, yes, of how to render an animation as an MP4 video because I was having a hard time with it rendering. When you want to render as a video, he recommends to render as images because of two reasons. One, it's kind of less intensive for it to go frame by frame and take a picture. And two, when you render in a like straight to video, if Blender kind of like blows up, it will corrupt the blend itself, and you'll have to start from scratch, which just did not sound very fun. So yeah, but you know, he said to set it to 200 if you want a like a 4K render, which I was like, sure, it's low poly, I'll do that. I probably didn't need it in 60 FPS, but I did it anyways. You do your frame start, your frame end. My whole timeline is 500 frames, so I did it that way. You put it in the output that you want, and then you have it render as PNG images. And when it does that, you kind of want to point it to its own folder. When you do that, it renders everything in one folder. So I have all 500 of my pictures, and then you go back into Blender. Let me save this real quick. And you set it up on a editor timeline, essentially. And this is very simple to do. You just kind of select everything and then just drag and drop it. The only thing that is different is you also have to make sure the format is how you want it. So 200%, 60 FPS, start at 1 and at 500, go to this place, and then you can render it as a video, because it's not actually rendering, it's just putting all of these pictures together to edit it. And you can do it in any kind of you can do it in any video editing software. I mean, if Blender can do it, why not just do it in Blender, you know? So that was very fun. I did that. And that's how we got our final video. So I will show that now. I wanted to kind of add like sound to it, but I think I just like it how it is. So it's quite short. It's 8 seconds, but I did it. So here we go. One more. Let's see that one more time. Look at that turbulence. Look at that turbulence over there. Look at the focal depth. Look at those fireflies buzzing around. Look at the shadows. Look at the light not clipping through the roof, not clipping into the window. Don't worry about all the grass clipping. I could not care. I could not care about that. Isn't that beautiful? That's something that I made. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love it. So yeah, that is all of that. Oh my god, I forgot. So the grass texture, right? I downloaded his grass texture and I didn't really like it, and I couldn't really change it too much because it was like just the darks were a bit too dark for me and the lights were a bit too yellow for me, and I didn't really want to change it with like value and saturation modifiers weren't changing it. So I made my own in Krita. And I recently got a new drawing tablet that I've been learning kind of how to use. It's not my first drawing tablet. My first one was a Wacom tablet. I don't even remember what it was actually called, like what brand, like what type of Wacom it was. I just remember I think I got it in 2015, maybe 2014, and it was like $50, and I try to use it on my MacBook Pro, and it was horrible. it was horrible. This one is the Intuos 2. No, sorry, not Intuos. The Huion Inspiroi 2. It has a bunch of buttons, as a little scroll wheel, and it's a pen tablet, so there's no screen, which is what I kind of wanted. And it's great. I love it. I love it a lot, actually. And I normally draw digitally on my iPad, but the reason I wanted to change back to a computer is because my iPad's quite old. I think this one I have is the iPad Air 2. I remember getting it when I was 18. No, I think I might have been, no, because I got it for my senior project. I think I was 16. So what, like 2020, wait, math? I'm not even thinking of it. 2014. Wait, no. Wait. Yes. Wait. No. If I was 16, 2018. There we go. Jesus Christ. Anyways. Yes. So in 2018, because I made art and sold it at a convention for my senior project, and I needed a reliable way to make art on my iPad, because I had more practice with Procreate than I did with Fire Alpaca, which is what I was using with my Wacom tablet. So anyways, long story short, I made my own texture. I popped that in here, and I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty nice. Is the ground a little bit too bright? Maybe, but I'm kind of okay with that, you know? And if I want to change it, let's just go into the shader editor. I can just make the material different by changing the value right here. And then it kind of looks more like nighttime, right? But yeah. Oh yeah, let me turn off the point. It's super, super low-key sun. Like, I don't know if you can see it here and on the trees and stuff, but then if I turn it off, you can kind of see the very slight difference that the light does. And I think it just adds a little extra ambiance. Yeah. So that's all there. And you might be wondering, what am I learning Blender for? Well, one, I like having hobbies, and I am kind of in the place in my life where I can contribute time to hobbies, which I know sounds weird, but you know, living alone, working a full-time job, you kind of don't really have a lot of time. And I just kind of want to, I like to create. I've always loved art. I've always loved making videos. I've always loved like learning new things and doing stuff like that. And so on one hand, it's something new to learn. It's something to sink time into and get results and work on it for as long as I need to, and all of that. And two is that I want to make my own 3D tuber. Now, I have made this model that you see here on screen in Vroid Studio with some of her assets, like her hair and her dress and stuff being bought from Booth. But I want to learn how to make my own and how to rig it and how to do all of that like technical stuff, which will probably take me a very long time, but I'm okay with doing that. But for I guess a little sneak peek, let's go look at the concept art, right? This has gone through a couple like iterations. I think like I'll keep the I can't decide on the skirt shape necessarily, but this is kind of in the hair's a difficult like part, because part of me wants to make like a star shaped kind of thing, right? Like kind of like this. And another part of me just wants to do like a full like bell, and another part of me wants to do like half down and half like spiky at the bottom, kind of like that. No idea like what I want to do, but I got the colors down. I got the shapes of everything down. Originally I drew it on my Samsung phone when I was at work, and yeah, kind of like reiterated it a couple times to get it to the point where it's at. Obviously this is not like a one-to-one sketch of like what it's going to look like. And I had like a couple iterations, as you can see here, of just like drawing like right on top of a model, like one of those ones you can get offline, right? And then like kind of figuring out like the shape of everything. But yeah, anyways, that's what I want to do. You can see some art that I've scrambled with. That's kind of what I want to do. And doing this tutorial really helped me get more excited for it. I didn't start on Blender sooner because I was a bit nervous about it, and I do know it's one of those activities where I can sit in silence for hours and just like work on it. And you know, that's a lot of time. I could be working overtime. That's a lot of time I could be socializing or doing something else. But I need to give myself a bit of time to do like standard hobby activities. So yeah. Oh, double me. There I am. She's always lurking. But yeah, that I guess that's everything I wanted to show. Just a little update on my Blender learning and what it's kind of been. And I think I'll end the video here. I will say look forward to a supercut of my and my friends' favorite moments of Deltarune Chapter 5 that I will be working on this week to try to upload for next week. But yeah, thank you for staying around, and I will see you Starlights later. Bye-bye.